The only shade I'm giving is the shade coming from my halo. Not all bears eat berries and fish. I prefer a diet of bourbon and bad behavior. Hello!
I'm Hunter Harden.
And I'm Papa the Bear. And welcome to the Real Housebears.
Hi, it's me, Louie. What's up, bro? What's up, bro? How you doing? You okay? You all right? You know, I love you guys a lot. I love this podcast. You guys talk about growth and, like, being a good person. And that's all about what I'm all about. I'm a good person.
You are a good person.
You're looking a little nervous there. You're looking a little scared.
I'm a little uncomfortable.
This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do for you. Because I am such a good guy. I'm going to go over there, Hunter's body over there. I'm going to peel his skin off, and I'm going to wear it so you feel more loved and comfortable around me. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go do that right now.
Stop. I'm going to wear Hunter's skin to make you more comfortable.
Listen, I know that it wasn't this episode, but how do you not... Does that not haunt everybody's dreams
yes,
already?
Of course it does. Of course it does. Even Teresa tried to, explain it away.
But you can't explain that?
No, honey.
Even if it was clothes that he's never worn before.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
Who cares?
That
that he said it. The fact that he wears the pajamas to make her four daughters more comfortable and safe.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go dig up your dad, and I'm going to roll around in his grave so I get his scent on me. So they smell it.
Carry her dad around like Weekend at Bernie's. That's what Louie's was starting.
Oh my gosh, that was the creepiest, scariest thing. And I think America looked the same that Joe did when he heard it.
Was
did he just...
What?
Nobody's brain was able to process that.
You can see. I think even Joe's eyes flitted for a second, overload,
like he got hit with a bat in the face.
Overload.
Like who said something like that? That is the most. First of all, the kids aren't like infants; they're grown ass adults.
In college, some of them.
I mean, it's not like I want to hear what they have to say about it. Like, do you really feel comfortable? It's so dark. It's so dark.
Like, I feel this pain that they have, and it sucks.
Oh, let me just say how good it feels to be back in the hot closet and to be talking about Housewives again. We have been like ships passing in the night, and so we haven't got to watch Housewives together hardly at all. And we haven't really had a chance to really talk much about what we've seen. So,
I just needed to talk about that phrase that he told them.
No,
that was the most haunting thing I've ever heard.
No, as soon as we saw the very first episode, as soon as I saw the very first episode after we announced that we were taking a short break, I was like, oh my God, I want to talk about this. This is not a good week to I want to talk about this. So it feels just good to be back and talking about it. I'm even wearing my Hot Closet t-shirt that you can get at the Real Housebears /redbubble.com. Is that what it is?
Man, we have been gone for too long.
You know what? I'll find out real quick.
Even I was like, man, I need to look that up before we start the podcast because I have to say it at the end. It's like Redbubble
realhousebears.redbubble.com.
Okay.
realhousebears.redbubble.com.
Get yourself some, honey.
Cute merch. I have my Weekend D hat that I'm not wearing yet.
I put stickers on my luggage so everybody knows that I am traveling and I'm packing.
I love when things are personalized like that.
So
in our travels, I got to find a whole lot of new listeners. I think that you did too.
Yeah.
So the big we kind of gave you guys on our last episode a little bit of a hint of how busy we thought we were going to be. And then it just ended up being even busier than we planned. Like my job in particular sent me on some trips for work. Hunter had like 3 back-to-back trips for work. And so there just wasn't a way that we could make it happen. And we thought, you know what? We've never taken a break. We've barely missed, we've missed a week, but we've never missed an episode.
Yeah.
For sure.
We just didn't talk about it at all.
But we just couldn't make it happen, and we just had to make peace with that. But it started off at the Texas Bear Roundup.
Oh my gosh. It was so Corey was booked with me on this one this year.
Yeah, so we got to judge the Mr. TBRU contest,
which was a lot of fun, and Corey got to do an underwear auction for charity.
I participated.
So
in
last year,
auction.
my year, me and this other guy got top tier we sold our underwear for $600. But Mr. Corey Shake Your Booty Bear, he goes up there, and everyone else made like max $300, and he made $800.
Yes,
Man,
I did.
I looked so tired in this video, like. My bag's like, it looks like I have not slept, but I have slept extra today.
Then that's the problem.
I'm sorry, everybody, but when you're looking at the video, I am looking haggard.
I think you look beautiful.
You look great.
I think I still have Louie on my face.
That's what it is. So TBRU, if we've ever talked about it before, we've always just said what amazing things it is.
TBRU is a really good place to go and feel cared about and included.
And we have to apologize to our very first #1 fan, Jill. We just were booked the whole time we were there, Jill. Sorry we didn't get a chance to see you. We were, hired to be there for the event. Our schedule was packed out while we were there. So hopefully we'll get a chance to see you in Dallas.
We didn't even leave the hotel because we were packed for every single event.
And then when we left Dallas from TBRU, I came home and you went to
Seattle and then Denver.
For which events were those?
Seattle was Barracuda at the Cuff. And man, I love dancing at the Cuff because they have like 30 friendly, like, go-go boxes.
30-year-old go-go boxes.
Because they have bars around it that you can hang on to. And you have no idea how much that saves my knees and my legs.
One of the bars in Oklahoma was like
that. I love a bar on a go-go box because you just hang on to that for dear life and you just do your stuff.
Oh, you know what? While we were at TBRU, we got to meet Jeff Lewis.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh.
Out at the Roundup.
He was leaving the Roundup, and it was so cool because they automatically knew who Corey was.
Well, once I introduced, I said, hi, I'm Corey. I was Heather Gay's choir director. They're like, oh, my gosh.
And the guy that who was the guy who was with?
Shane.
Shane. He actually left the bar and came back with a bunch of, like, a gaggle of girls because they all wanted to meet Corey.
It turns out they're all in the karaoke room in front.
Oh, gotcha. Actually. But that's so much fun.
So Corey talked about me on the show, on Jeff Lewis Live the next day, that was really cool.
So, and it's really cool because now Corey's on this other fandom of just being Hunter Harden's boyfriend at all these events. So, husband, oh my God. But so now he's getting hired with me to all these events because now we're like a team, and it's cool because a lot of people that I'm meeting without him, they all talk about how they saw Corey on Real Housewives. Yeah. So it's like more Housewives fans because they're just geeking over how Corey's a part of it.
And so as, that comes up, then we get to talk about the Real Housebears podcast. And then as you were coming home from Denver, I was leaving to Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
And in Denver, I was dancing for Barracuda again at Trax.
Yes.
Oh, no, not Barracuda, I'm sorry, XXL with Brett Milne.
Oh, fix.
And DJ Jay Warren. He's my top 3 favorite DJ. Because he plays hits and stuff with music that you could really dance to. And like, when you're on the go-go box, something that's familiar, you could dance better to.
Yeah.
Love the vibe. Love the vibe.
And then it turns out that people do live in South Dakota. They all live in Sioux Falls.
Corey kept telling me, and I said, send me pictures. And he just kept sending me pictures of cows. There was cows everywhere. I was like, those are cows, honey.
This is where I got some of our new listeners. Shout out to the awesome teachers of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I had the most awesome training experience with them, and I got to talk housewives with some of them. It was a lot of fun. We just had some coffee talk.
We just, just have some iced coffee talk
Just have
because
some coffee
it was
talk.
so cold over there in South Dakota.
Yeah, so it was so cold in South Dakota, but that was such an easy segue.
That
into
was a
coffee
good one.
talk.
I was gonna keep going, but that was a
I
good
know.
segue.
I think it's a time. It's a time.
It's a time.
That
I
we
mean,
get into
I just
the
feel like
Housewives.
people have just missed us. Oh my God, Scream, the new Scream movie. Yes, go see it. What else can we talk about?
Let's get back to the Housewives. So let's first of all kind of recap what's been going on since we left. I know you weren't planning this, but that's why I took notes.
Okay, good.
So since we left, no one has really believed Danielle's story about her brother and why they're no longer speaking, especially Jackie.
Jackie's trying to be a part of it
Yeah,
so
Jackie's
hard.
like, Jackie and Danielle haven't gelled from the jet. We've also learned that Danielle walks out on all arguments. And despite Danielle and Rachel, they were becoming really close being the new girls and started a really great friendship. But now Danielle no longer trusts Rachel Fuda because she knows that Rachel Fuda will repeat anything that you've told her.
Mm-hmm. And Danielle will get pissed off because while she was like bullshitting with people.
I do feel, we'll talk a little bit about it more. I do feel like Rachel made it sound worse than how Danielle was. It was spun a little bit.
Yes.
But we'll get into that. We have also learned that John Fuda has been inducted in the New Jersey House Husbands by having his chest waxed.
Yes, by a bunch of rowdy boys.
Speaking of rowdy boys, Frank is brokenhearted. Poor Frank. He's crying at baseball.
He's having emotional
Frank literally
breakdowns.
cried at baseball.
No, Frank is so in tune with his feelings.
But Dolores is kind of unfazed by it.
Why would she? I mean,
she
she's
only has eyes for Paul's. Dolores is still on the outs with Jennifer Aiden. However, she has heard of Jennifer Aiden's marital woes and child-rearing woes. And
nobody wants that. Blah, blah, blah.
yeah, they were friends, so we'll see where those going to go. I didn't want them to make amends. I like Dolores versus Jennifer personally.
Like, peace is everything for me.
Hey, I can't help it. It's good TV.
I do finally realize why I hated Jennifer Aiden's introductory about how Payback's a bitch, so start barking, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. This whole storyline is her because she got called out for payback for all the things she said about Margaret. So keep barking, girl.
Oh.
Just don't push my buttons. How about that?
Jennifer and Bill Aiden essentially can only be around each other if they're wasted and on camera.
Oh, I know. It's rough to watch.
It is very sad. I mean, I said it kind of matter of fact, but their sex life has dwindled. Mm-hmm. They have conflict over the raising the kids. And you know what? Jackie's also happy to talk about that for anyone who will listen.
Oh, yeah, of course. Jackie's like, whatever, I'm friend
Jackie's
up
like,
now.
I got a job to do. Gonna come in, start some.
I'm gonna let them, Bravo, know that they need me still.
There really has been no progress in Margaret and Jennifer Aiden's relationship, despite the truce they had at the reunion. Despite Margaret's truce with Melissa, Margaret has heard that Teresa's warning people about her, so there's still distrust. There's talks of Margaret's arsenal.
The arsenal.
But listen, she does have a sharp tongue.
But who else doesn't have an arsenal in this group?
True. We have the same old conflict between Teresa, Melissa, Joe, Louie, except we have found out the real reason behind the finality of it all is that Louie tried to screw Joe out on a business deal.
Yeah.
So now we all understand.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, we've just learned that we love Jenn Fessler. And what else do we need to say
I love Jenn Fessler, and I have stuff to say about her in this episode. I just love her to death.
OMG.
I am so glad that at least, I listen to Amy Phillips without fail, and I know that she feels the same way about the New Girls that we do. Like, the future of New Jersey is bright. I don't feel like New Girls have ever fit in as well as they have before, especially in New Jersey.
They feel like they've been in previous seasons.
Yeah,
already.
they feel like they belong.
Mm-hmm.
Even Jenn Fessler, she might be a friend of, but she's on every trip. She's at practically every party.
And it kind of seems that all the other ladies are trying to get them on their sides right away. So they're all kind of popular girls right now.
Yeah, I feel like they fit in so beautifully. And, you know, if Teresa and or Melissa had to leave the show, I feel like there's still going to be plenty to offer.
Oh, yeah, especially with Jenn Fessler. I love her.
I mean, we love us some Jenn Fessler. All right, we start off after a few quick scenes at Paul's house.
Oh, you caught up? We're all caught up?
We're all caught up.
Okay,
We're all
let's do
caught
this.
up. We're at Paul's house. He only gets 1 cup of coffee a day.
He's recovering from heart surgery.
You know, he might not be fully recovered, but he's already feeling randy.
Yeah, he is.
I'm like, I identify
new
Paul.
girl. And holy crap, Dolores looks good.
Oh my gosh, she's so stunning. What do you think about that confessional with the dark hair?
I'm not a huge fan of it.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know why. I'm just so used to having like brown autumn hair
With some
that matches her
honey in
skin.
there.
It just with the dark hair, it just makes her look. I don't feel it's
I
natural.
think I would have liked the dark hair better if she was wearing something a little bit less matronly. There was a little high neck on it. There was shoulders on it.
I just think her skin tone.
I think if they made her look more va-va-va-voom, it would have looked completely different.
with décolletage.
Right, there you go. Dolores and Paul are so cute together. They're just sweet moments. He loves to take care of her.
She's smiling all the time.
Oh, I mean, as someone who previously was in relationships where I feel like I was carrying most of the load of the daily responsibilities of everything, I can relate to how she feels like once you finally meet someone who wants to carry the load for you, or at least with you when they can, you know?
Yeah.
It's exhilarating.
Because Dolores has been holding the baggage for years.
Oh, 100%.
She's been holding on to everything.
So Dolores tells Paul about the conversation we had with Frank about not staying at Frank's shore house.
I feel like Paul's egotism is getting in the way of him understanding where Frank is coming from. Because to hear that Paul still has a close relationship with his ex-wife, and that he says they don't talk all the time, but Dolores like, you guys talk all the time. Like, he needs to understand that it's a different kind of bond. And it's not like they've been best friends for years after. It's not like they broke up recently. They've been best friends and nurturing this relationship for years. And Paulie just doesn't understand that it's just too much change for him, and he's afraid that he's going to lose the connection that he has with his kids and Dolores.
But I can understand Paul being like, but I don't want you staying at the house with them by yourself.
Well, yeah, of course. Like, they don't have to live together, but he needs to stop being so macho about this whole masculinity thing. It's it's too much, and it's puffing chest when it doesn't need to be needed.
Yeah. But Dolores is kind of fooling herself if she thinks that this isn't just Frank not being able to get used to change. Like, Frank is heartbroken about this because he's got to have
some kind of connection with this boyfriend as well.
He's got to have Dolores all these years, kind of to himself.
Mm-hmm. Even when she's
even with David, even with other people.
David made him a part of the
he's
family.
really it's been a sweet spot for him for years because he got to cheat on her, he got to ruin the marriage, but then he's still got all the best parts of Dolores, other than the sex, I'm sure, and even living with her. So it's more than the change; it's that relationship that they've shared.
Frank needs to grow up.
The conversation switches to let's try that again. Welcome back to the hot closet. The conversation switches to Dolores saying that she is getting together with Jennifer Aiden. Dolores has cared about Jennifer before, so there's still some care there. Again, I'm not rooting for it. But I am rooting for Rachel Fuda's house and Gia's little personalized backpack before she's even going to school.
And she even has a bento box. I didn't even know what a bento box was until in my late 20s. Actually, my early 30s.
Was it at
that Chinese restaurant? Yes, in Toccoa. Yes. I had no idea what a bento box was because when I grew up, I had one of those brown paper bags that had either a soda or a Capri Sun in it, a peanut butter jelly sandwich, chips, and like an apple or something.
Yeah, no.
And there's
she was getting sushi.
And there's nothing separating it. So when you open the bag, or if the bag doesn't open from the bottom, your sandwich is completely smashed because of the apple.
Right.
And,
your chips are crushed.
Yes. So,
that darn apple.
I wish I could have had a bento box separating all of my little accoutrements.
Rachel blames buying her daughter a personalized backpack years before she's ever going to school on just being a perfectionist.
Oh, okay.
She's a perfectionist.
You know she's going to buy another one the year of.
Right. Rachel and John own several businesses together. It looked like they own like restaurant chains and all kinds of different things. I can't remember exactly, but they run things very differently. It's weird. I guess it's a shady, but it's weird for me to think of Rachel having a corporate background.
Because of how she looks? Wow, Bear. Wow.
Well, not because she's sexy, but I just don't get that corporate vibe from her. You know what I'm saying?
I don't get a corporate vibe from her.
But she is that kind of person who will tell you like it is. So maybe that's why she was successful in the corporate world. I don't know.
It's a little sketchy sketch.
They're considering putting the new baby on hold because, for one reason, they've been busy, and Rachel is considering officially adopting John's son, Jaden.
I thought it was Kaden.
I'm pretty sure it's Jaden.
Okay. I just put... oh, no, Kaden, Jaden. I don't know. It might be a spell error. But anyways, John Fuda has furry arms. That's what I want to have to say about it.
I just wish he wouldn't shave his mustache down. He'd be so much sexier like that. But they're concerned that Jaden's bio mother could contest. She's has been really absent from Jaden's life, but she seems to be the kind of person who likes to start trouble.
Be vengeful.
Yeah. So we get over to a restaurant called I wonder if it's like
Or numbers.
Yeah. It was AUMM.
Numbers.
Jaden.
Oh my goodness.
Well, listen, I gotta get back in the hot closet mode.
Holy crap.
My brain is melting.
I'm sweating from my twat.
Jennifer Aiden and Dolores are having their "let's be friends again" conversation.
That I've seen with Jennifer with every single other housewife, so I know this is gonna go.
But you know how Dolores kind of starts off in a place of care, like, do you really think that I enjoyed not being close with you? And Jennifer goes, well, and then starts pointing her fingers. Well, you did this.
Jennifer just hated how last year she didn't defend her enough with Margaret because she went through an infidelity. And it's just like, Jennifer, nobody owes you anything. Like, nobody owes you any of their respect or anything. Like, so you can't get mad at somebody for not defending something and then go behind their back and attack them anyways.
And also being loyal to someone doesn't mean that you agree with everything they say.
Exactly. And that's what she wants with her husband.
Oh, yeah, she does. Well, they do pretty quickly establish that Jennifer Aiden was not very communicative with Dolores about what she was going through. And she ended up just really running her mouth at Dolores.
Yeah.
So she does fess up to that pretty quickly.
Which she's done a bunch of times.
But it was an easy conversation. I expected that it would be.
And again, can we just squash it and move forward from here? Which is never going to... It's been said a million times.
I think between Dolores and Jennifer might.
Oh, my God.
Because Jennifer doesn't want Dolores mad at her again, and Dolores doesn't... She's just not that kind of girl.
We'll see. And Dolores is happy right now. She's not interested in getting into any...
But it all somehow gets back to Margaret. If Jennifer's having a conversation about anything, or Teresa's having a conversation about anything, it all goes back to Margaret and how Jennifer was avoiding Margaret at Rachel Fuda's cookout because there was definitely enough going on between Teresa and Louie and Melissa and Joe.
Oh, my goodness.
So Jennifer wants to get all the girls together for a coffee reading. Have you ever heard of a coffee grounds reading?
I have, but at first I thought she said Turkish coffee.
That's what it is. They said Turkish coffee.
I don't know what Turkey coffee has to do with other... Can you use Folgers?
I don't know. Do
you have to use Starbucks?
I felt
maybe?
like that maybe Turkish was just her heritage.
Her heritage. I feel like we've seen Angie.
I don't think it's Turkish coffee.
I think we've seen this Angie mind reader on multiple different Housewives franchises as the spiritual reader. I swear to God.
She has
I have seen her before.
She's
done the crystal. She's done the palm readings. She's done the sound readings. And in every franchise, she is like the go-to one.
Maybe you're right, because she seems to know what everyone's business is. We'll get to that shortly.
But you know what? Actually, I think I might start becoming... I think I'm starting to be a reader because I keep seeing messages in my cereal bowls.
You have?
Yeah, yesterday it was, ooh.
Were you eating Cheerios?
Yes. But the other day before that, it said, coo.
You're sense.
Because one of the O's was broken, so it looked like a C. So I think I'm starting to become a cereal reader. I need to just look into what ooh.
You're a cereal something.
Yes. Serial reader.
We go to Joe and Melissa's new home. I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but did you see how they didn't line up the windows on that one last portion?
Ew, what?
I've never pointed this out to you.
Is it the same on the other side? What does the other side look like?
I don't know. I don't know.
They're the same on the other side too. Look at, they're not the same.
I don't understand.
Okay, y'all, that's weird.
Where they're
they're off.
They're not lined up. It's awful.
Why are the two houses on? Is it like to ward off witches or something? Is this like some kind of?
Were we clear about what we were talking about? How in Joe and Melissa Gore's new home, the windows on the
outer edges, the west and the east wing,
the windows don't line up from the front view.
Yeah, from top to bottom, they're off. They're further off.
It's horrible. It's horrible. Who cares about anything else going on in this?
I mean, it's a beautiful house, my God, but that is such a. I'm like.
And it does set us up for later about Danielle's pop-up shop at Envy. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's why we're here.
But you know what? They also do say that the windows of the house are just the eyes of the house. So I think their house might be a little bit wonky.
I like that.
Got hit upside the head a couple times with a bat.
I think Joe Gorgas been upside.
One eye's looking to the left, one eye's looking to the right.
OMG. So we go back and forth between Danielle and Teresa FaceTiming to Melissa and Joe working on their crooked home. Teresa has COVID. But she thought she was sick from exhaustion from the argument with Melissa.
The stress because of Joe and Melissa did to her.
The argument with Melissa, it's got to be Melissa's fault all the time. So Teresa fills Danielle in on what happened after Danielle left. Like the conversation with Louie and Melissa and Louie and Joe and Louie and Melissa and Joe and Teresa sprinkled in occasionally. But what we didn't see last week is that when Louie goes to move the car and talk to Joe and Melissa one time, he came back
bawling. Like he wants attention so bad. Like there was a moment where I was like, you know what? Louie might be a good guy. But after that, wearing the clothes comment and all of this, he constantly is like, I want to make things better. But during the argument, he even said to Joe, that's a way to play it, Joe. You're really playing into it real well. You're not trying to help. You're not trying to help at all. You are just so eager to be number one and to have everybody adore you that you're such this good guy. But you are a freak, psychopath. Weirdo that I don't even want near me ever.
Don't be a drama queen.
So Margaret told Melissa the same thing about Louie come back in crying. So we know everyone saw it. Joe thinks that Louie's two-faced, and then we find out we've already known in the press, but we're reminded that in the press at this time, Dina Manzo is now supposedly no longer coming to Teresa's wedding, and Teresa and Dina have been tight, BFFs forever.
But Dina's husband is the other guy that got into the pizza business with Louie and Joe, and so that's why it fell apart.
And then there's the whole Dolores of it all, where Dolores no longer speaks with Dina because Dolores is friends with Caroline Manzo.
Yeah, this is before my time.
Yeah, well, those are sisters who don't speak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all. But Joe Gorga, he gets worked up talking about Louie.
I love it. Well, I would be too, because Louie is, I'm sorry, he is causing all of this drift and drama and keeping it going. He will say one thing to Teresa and the daughters to get them riled up, and then he'll say another thing in front of everyone else. I just want peace. He is the most two-faced, narcissistic creep fest.
For sure.
No,
he's not consistent.
I'm freaked out by him.
Well, before we take a break, real quick, Danielle just tells Teresa how upset she is at Rachel Fuda for repeating everything and then but kind of turning it around a little bit against Danielle. Teresa's like, I'm sorry, everyone should just said, I hope you and your brother make up one day. They should never ask questions. They should never be inquisitive.
I love that Teresa is always hindsight 2020 focused. After the fact, it's ridiculous.
Teresa would react that way. If Teresa and Danielle weren't on the same team.
Honey.
But Danielle still has a lot to say. She regrets walking away.
Yeah, she says that multiple times.
So let's walk away from the hot closet for a moment, refill our beverages.
Before this insane reading.
And come back and we're going to get read.
I'm going to read some people. Bye.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to go.
Ting. Your bear hot pockets are ready.
Oh, that's funny.
I know.
Oh, look
Bear
at you.
pockets.
Hot Pockets.
We need your choir to sing that. Like, get the women to sing the choir.
Hot closet.
Hot closet.
Oh my God, I didn't tell you this today. I cannot confirm
Nor deny.
A housewife that we haven't met before will be at choir practice on Thursday.
Oh, shut up. Oh, I'm going. Dude, that's fun. And also, that means the choir is going on, and it's going to have more in the next season.
I cannot confirm that cameras will be there.
All I
But
know
I
is
can
that...
confirm that we have rehearsal this Thursday, and a housewife that you and I have not met yet
Oh, I will be meeting.
is going to likely be at rehearsal.
We don't need practice. We have angels.
So I'm very excited about that. I'm excited about Angie, the Turkish coffee reader / psychic. She knows it all.
Does she?
She knows it all.
It kind of like she knows their taglines.
No, you're right. Like, there was a season years ago, some other city, some other years ago, where they had like a psychic or something who actually literally got busted doing research on the women before they got there.
I mean,
it was probably Angie.
I mean, it was probably Angie, and honestly, this whole reading is so stupid. Like, I couldn't, like, when the ladies started busting out laughing and stuff, I'm glad that they did, because I wouldn't have been able to hold it in. Especially just her going over the things that they just talked about in the house.
Do you think Jennifer Aiden filled her in on all this?
Oh, of course she did. Of course she talked to the psychic beforehand.
It was really comical. But before we get to the Turkish coffee, is it Turkish coffee or is she Turkish? And you can, yeah, that's the question. That's the question. Or is it both? You have to be a Turkish person drinking Turkish coffee.
What is Turkish coffee?
Coffee comes from Turkey.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are so well cultured and knowledgeable.
That's why I was a music teacher, not a geography teacher.
That's why I was cute.
I want to see Paul's house.
Oh, it looks so handsome. But when she was saying it was like 50 Shades of Grey, it kind of was how, like, because that's women's, like kink, you know, I guess.
But
like,
it was
the closest
very
to kink.
monochromatic.
But did you see how all the women were like, just like, Dolores who?
Yeah.
Like, even I was like, ooh, this is
I
a
want to
sexy
see
house.
what it looks like from the outside. I want to see.
I want to know if he has, like, because I really want to see like a den room, like for a man's cave or a cigar room, because I want to. I
like
bet
a
he
leather sofa.
because he could do handsome really well.
Yeah. I went to living at home as well, but I want to see it.
I want to suck Paul's dick. Oh. To live in the house. I mean, stay in the house. I mean, I'll live in the house or stay in the house. I don't care. I'm just saying. I mean, it's a really nice house. Shut up. Man, my filter has not been on for a while, I guess.
That is going to be worth the time it takes me to put the sister beef over that.
It's all about perspective.
Whoops.
Oops. Jenn Fessler is not as much into the decor, but she is totally into Paul. She's like, I'd take Paul.
I love Jenn Fessler. Anything she said. The second I see her, when she comes in, I'm like, oh, good. Somebody that's like our speed.
Who we would be hanging out with at every single party.
She is so our speed.
But you know what? Dolores must be breaking her own bedpost if she gets houses from every man she meets.
Listen, Dolores has got it. I mean, nobody's gonna. I mean, I bet you Dolores can turn me straight.
I mean,
but I don't think I could get her house or anything. I don't think I'm that kind of a man. I'll be like, I'll give you some good stuff.
Like, you were talking so much BS right now. You were talking so much BS.
Please move on.
Welcome back to the hot closet.
Please move on. Oh my
Melissa
God.
immediately asked Dolores, she's like, why are you and Jennifer, what's going on with you and Jennifer? Why are y'all hosting together? And Dolores is like, well, we got tired of not getting along, so we've decided to get along. Jennifer kind of wanted to host this, but she didn't feel like everyone in our group would accept an invitation to her home, so I agreed to have it here at my home. That, that makes sense. But the women are like, they're not believing it.
But does she really like her? I mean, does anybody really like her?
They are skeptical of anything that anyone says. It really can't be as easy as it really just is right now.
It's not, and we've seen it a million times with Jennifer personally doing this with all the ladies on it already, and then going right back to her talking behind their back.
No one believes it. I guess that's why nobody believes it.
Yeah, nobody believes it. It's happened every time, and I think Dolores isn't going to put enough energy into just fighting with her.
And plus, Margaret doesn't believe that anyone actually likes Jennifer Aiden enough to want to make it.
Dolores cannot, not Dolores. Margaret cannot stand Jennifer.
No.
I can't either. To be honest with you.
I love what she does for TV. Like I've said before, she gives us our best sound bites of anyone in New Jersey.
Oh, I do have to say, Dolores with her curled brown hair and that dress, that like multicolored multi-floral dress looked so stunning on her. Mm-hmm. She looked like a Disney wife. Like she looked like she's going to pull out a pie out of the kitchen.
Oh, I would love.
She was just so gorgeous and so pretty. Yeah.
Well, Danielle walks in as everyone's talking about her, of course, or at least it's started to look that way. And Danielle's like, she's ready to let it out. She's ready to say her piece. But kind of like as soon as she gets there, they all go back inside. I guess it's kind of muggy outside. Yeah. And Jennifer and Dolores announce to the group that they just FaceTimed with Teresa, and she invited them to be bridesmaids in her wedding.
This is not the most awkward situation ever.
Not only that, Teresa meditated on it. She thought about it. And then she came to the realization that Buddha gave her to have them both be bridesmaids.
It has nothing to do with Dina Manzo no longer coming to the wedding, does it?
Who? I don't think I know who that person is.
I'm not talking about Tina, ever.
Everyone's like, Dolores wasn't even invited to the engagement party, but she's invited to be a bridesmaid.
Everybody there is just like, this is ridiculous.
No one can make a decision without everyone else thinking it's calculated.
Yes.
Like she intentionally, but she only did this because Dina's out, and they also did this because despite Melissa.
But to be honest, Melissa, I'd be like, Melissa, you have dodged the biggest bullet.
No, I think Melissa's good with not being.
Yeah, I think she's good with it. Like, but she just wants to point out the hypocrisy of all of it.
No. The ladies go to get food, and guess what dish is being served?
Stuffed grape leaves.
Stuffed grape leaves. They were good.
I want them right now, or whatever they stupidly say. Oh my goodness, I can't handle with these stuffed grape leaves. They're everywhere now. What the hell is going on?
Those grape leaves look so good.
So for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, when did stuffed grape leaves come up? Was it during our
6 years ago?
No, I think it was our last season of Salt Lake City, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but stuffed grape leaves has been haunting me ever since. Like it literally has been like every season. Like whatever we're watching, even off of this, there'll be stuffed grape leaves on the TV show, and I can't handle it. We'll turn to the news, and they're like, "Oh, we're showing you how to cook 5 different stuffed grape leaves." And I'm like, I can't handle it. I will eat one and be done with it.
We're gonna have to. Once everyone gets seated, Dolores wants everyone to take a trip to Ireland. She went there with Paul. It was a magical trip.
It was like
pots of gold and rainbows everywhere.
It's got biggest bachelor parties in the world, she said, or something like that. It's got something about bachelor party. Anyways, I was hoping the guys were going to go too, but it doesn't look like they are. But I really want to go to Ireland too, because I hear that they have an amazing gay event scene there.
Like I love a Jenn.
Well, I just love a guy with an accent. Period.
You're a slut like that.
What happens in Ireland stays in Ireland.
Sure. I mean, I already said I was going to suck Paul's dick earlier in this one.
Oh my gosh. So coffee reading is, luckily I wasn't the only one who was like, what is this? It's new to me.
Oh, and also, this is why Jenn Fessler is part of our tribe.
Right.
She is the only one constantly having a glisten of sweat on her because it's so hot wherever they go.
I bet you at this point she's had all of her sweat glands removed.
I mean, I need to have mine because it's ridiculous. Like, I sweat so much all the time.
She's had a facelift. She's had a nose job.
Get it, Jenn Fessler.
So maybe...
Get rid of the sweat glands.
I think she might have had her teeth done.
You know, Beauty Lab and Laser here in Salt Lake City does it. Jenn Fessler, come be on our podcast and get your sweat glands removed.
We'll go hang out with Heather and Dre.
Yeah, but I love Jenn. She's one of us. She wants to eat. She doesn't care about what bullcrap's going on, and she's sweating all the time because it is hot.
Amen.
Amen. That's like our three. That's our milking stool right there.
And we're also suspicious of coffee readers.
I'm very suspicious.
So Dolores's has a ring in it.
Okay, hold on. You gotta set the tone first. At Dolores's house, with her new beau that Angie has been hanging out with all day, probably getting ready for this lunch or whatever, and she says that there's going to be a ring in her life probably soon. That's a very far jump. I wonder how you came to that, Angie.
But we're not suspicious. Sorry, Frank. No, there's a ring coming soon. Sorry, Frank. Rachel's coffee has a V for victory.
I don't know where she got this one, but you know what? They were all at a house talking all day.
So, in 3 months-ish, I guess maybe this adoption situation.
No, it's either 3 months or 3 years.
I don't know how long it could take. I don't know.
I don't know why 3 is significant, but it's going to happen and they will win.
Now, here's where it's just unbelievable that she could see this in the coffee.
Or read it on the newspaper the day before.
Margaret has a very close friend, according to page 6.
You are so bad.
Someone she grew up with.
She's looking at the coffee and looking over at the magazine.
With the letter L. She sees a knife going in Margaret's back. 1 minute, there was a friendship. And then it was gone.
This one's really elaborate. This one's good. Like, she's got some
How
flair.
could she be so accurate? That's a gift.
In the corner, Jen and Melissa can't help from giggling.
I bet you she uses coffee cups to solve crimes.
I mean, that's what I would do.
That's what she does.
I wouldn't solve housewives' issues or tell them what they already know.
Listen, she's got the skills.
Angie's probably just some camera crew person.
Actually, you know what? Angie might have she might be missing it a little bit because she first says that Jennifer Aydin's husband loves her a lot. Mm-hmm. So maybe she really doesn't have the gift.
Ooh, this second half is rough.
And then
we are being very rough and crude in this one.
Guilty, insecure bitches.
Then she makes a reference about endorsements and how she skipped endorsements to be with family. And then flashback to a conversation with Margaret and Jennifer, just who knows how recently. Margaret shading Jennifer over her lack of endorsement.
Jennifer, no one's endorsing you. You know who's endorsing you? Charmin. Because you have 16 bathrooms and you're full of shit.
And how Jennifer chose her family. That's her endorsement.
But what's the best part of this is Jennifer's like, it's written right there in the coffee cup in black, and even the reader's like, it's written. That's the word. It's written in here.
Angie.
Oh my gosh, this is so hard. Like, oh
is
my
Angie
gosh.
a Turkish name? Maybe that's our first.
Angie's the name of
investigation.
one of the kids that ate from that witch's hut that was made of candy. Some super Dutch name.
So before we even get to Danielle, like Jackie's already losing her.
Oh yeah, everybody's losing it.
I can imagine that Jackie and probably Jenn Fessler are looking at each other across the table and cackling.
And Melissa's cracking up too. Yeah, she can't handle it.
I want to be there in that corner. Danielle's coffee says that Danielle's family is close, but there's a conflict between her and her brother.
It's so specific. So specific.
She sees him in a wedding where Danielle wasn't there. They both cry about it. They both cry about it. How can she know that?
It's written in there. It's written in that coffee cup.
Well, there will come a day when his anger will go away. The best part of waking up will be Folgers in his cup.
If she said that at the end of every run of the readings, I would lose it. Oh my gosh. But basically this is so, I just read this on page 6 yesterday, kind of issues. Like, you've told me all the issues that these women are going to be having as it's happening on the show. So, like, how is this Angie not just reading verbatim?
So we are not trying to discredit Angie.
Oh, I mean, no, Angie, I hope we're giving you a ton of business from this reading.
That's not what the coffee cup says.
Where did she cut? They just said Angie. Where did she come from?
What? You know what's more believable? Angie's reads over Danielle's situation with her brother. Danielle's like, listen, I don't get it either. Can we all just leave it at that? Listen, I don't know why my brother cut me off so easily. He did. He cut me off just like that. So can you all just accept that and move on?
And why is it important? Nobody knows anything about this woman's family. Like, she's a new girl. Like, why is it important to call her out that there's more to the story? Of course there's going to be more to the story. I'm sure it's been a collection of things that have gone on through what every family goes through. And then finally there's a final straw where it just breaks the camel's back.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just about, it was the final straw.
And who cares about their past? It's none of your business. She was just trying to relate to these women saying, I haven't talked to my brother.
Yeah, I don't want the same thing for Teresa and Joe.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Danielle then gets to point a finger at Rachel Fuda for sabotaging Danielle by repeating what Danielle had said, but reframing it in a way that Danielle probably didn't mean. Danielle's like, listen, we were just kind of reiterating what we had heard. Really, is all we were doing. I wasn't trying to warn anyone about Margaret. I was saying, well, they warned me about Margaret, and I'm just telling you that.
Yeah.
Kind of situation.
But Danielle is not having Rachel anymore. Rachel's like, pinged you, girl. Shit stir. Ping.
And you know what? Dolores isn't having it either. She's like, bye, everyone. Bye.
She's like, I'm sweating, y'all. Get out.
Everyone's like, you guys, it's so hot in here. I'm okay to leave.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I can't.
Because poor Jenn Fessler, she has been sitting there with a half-turned plate just fanning herself
no
that
wonder
entire
Paul's
time.
rich, because he doesn't spend any money on air conditioning.
That's the crime.
That's the crime.
That's the crime.
This is why Paul's not getting his...
This is where Paul's not getting his dick sucked.
Oh my gosh. All right, the editing is getting a little bit excessive now, okay?
Why? Because I keep saying dick?
Well...
Or just sucking dick.
Well, I'm ready to get out of the hot closet myself. Right there's my reason why. Sorry if your kids are listening in the car with you.
Oh my gosh. That's why you bleep it out. I love Capri Suns. I was sucking Capri Suns. I love sucking Capri Suns.
Let's just stop. Get me out of here.
I love it when Capri Suns actually spread on my face when I'm trying to get it.
No. Okay, in the meantime, please follow us on social media. On Facebook and Instagram, we are The Real Housebears. On Twitter, we are Real Housebears. And you can email us at therealhousebears@gmail.com.
All right, it's been a while. You could also watch us on YouTube and Spotify at The Real Housebears. You could also now buy merch at realhousebears.redbubble.com. Thank you for pulling that up, Mr. Bear. And you can listen to us wherever you're listening to podcasts. But we have not had a House Bears famous listener in quite a while.
Since your sister.
It reminds me of my sisters. I just called my sister and said, I love you.
Since my sister, who never did call me after that to thank me for what I said about her. So I retract all that. So anyways, you can be Housebear, hashtag Housebears famous if you go to Apple Podcasts, scroll down, give us a 5-star rating and a cute little review, and we will talk about you on air, making you hashtag Housebears famous. All right, get me out of this closet.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Great to be back. Goodbye.
Okay, love you. Bye.